everyone and welcome back to the Colour Cave where we like to play with art stuff. My name is Jem and this is the October art subscription box from the lovely company Upcrate in Germany. So let's get to opening it up and see what is inside. So this is what the contents of the box look like. We've got a featured artist and some stickers featuring the featured artist's artwork, if that makes sense. This is our bottle post, so this is our magazine that talks about the supplies and also provides lots of other arty inspiration, that kind of thing. We have not one but two paintbrushes, a set of the Lyra Aquacolor sticks and also the Derivan liquid pencil, as well as an Artspace Zigzag Sketchbook. So let's take a look at these items and learn a little bit more about them. So first up is the Lyra Aquacolor crayons. This is actually quite funny because I was thinking to my little self I would quite like to try these because I've never tried them, and also compare them to the Caran d'Ache Neo colours, which I'm more familiar with. So this might just have come at the right time. So we have 5 crayons here. And it says that they are water-soluble, light, fast and made of high-quality pigments. You can blend them with your fingers or dilute them with water to conjure up delicate tones from your soft pasty strokes. Your crate comes with 5 of the colours, so there's a whole list of colours, and they've done this thing again where they just give everyone different colours and random colours. I'm not a fan of that. I think it creates a very unrealistic and unfair playing field for those that want to take part in the Upcrate battle, which we'll talk about a bit more in a minute. I'm quite excited about these because I've never tried them before. And I do seem to have a half decent selection of colours. I just wanted to double check because quite a long time ago we had a set of these in a scroller box and I've just gone and dug them out and it is exactly the same 3 colours, so I actually already own this. I will put this new and unused set in the stash shop so someone else can take advantage of them. And when it comes to doing the Upcrate battle, I'll use the ones that I've already opened because that makes sense. So let's talk about this liquid pencil. What if graphite pencils were liquid? On the one hand, you could fill large areas much faster and more easily without having to use heavy pressure. With the help of water or acrylic medium, the creamy Derivan liquid pencil can be mixed and lightened to create different tones and gradients. With water, the product can be spread more easily, while a medium maintains the original texture and structure of the liquid pencil. By the way, there is no wrong way to use this material. Have fun experimenting and discover your own techniques. One thing I do remember about this supply is that if you add water to it, it does pale it down and you have to build up lots and lots and lots of layers. Either that or try and keep the water content to the minimum. I created a really nice design and when I look back on it, I was really proud of it actually. When I look back on it, I felt as if I could have gone deeper and darker with a lot of the colours. So that's just from personal experience, but this stuff's great. I love it. But then again, I'm a huge fan of the likes of Graphitint pencils. So this really, really appeals to me. So on this next page you can see the swatches of the 3 colours and they're really muted and really, really pretty. I absolutely love this stuff. It's fab stuff. And it tells you a little bit down the bottom here about Derivan themselves, which are a company that are based in Australia, which is really nice to see because we don't often get the chance to see that kind of thing in these subscription boxes. So moving swiftly on. So we've got this Artspace size 12 wash brush. It is synthetic fibres. I really like a synthetic brush. I'm a little bit excited about this. I'm going to have to go and wash the transit glue off this because it seems to be very, very heavily glued. That tip is not going anywhere. So this wash or mop brush is perfect for filling in broad areas as a large brush tip absorbs a lot of water and colour pigment. In addition, the synthetic hair is elastic and very suitable for wet and wet techniques. Try reactivating dried lines from your Derivan liquid pencils with this brush, but we'll definitely be trying that out. I'm looking forward to this paintbrush. I quite enjoy the Artspace paintbrushes we've had in the Upcrate before, so that is definitely something for me to be excited about. We've also got a synthetic brush as well. This is also a size 6. I'm pretty sure we've had one of these before. Okay, I was close. We've had a number 4 round before. This is the number 6, so slightly bigger. Just checking, just checking. This brush is a round tip in a size 6 with high quality synthetic nylon hair. These are particularly flexible and strong so that the brush retains its shape while working. It also holds a lot of water and paint. As I was just saying there, I really like synthetic brushes. I seem to get on quite well with them. I don't know why. So again, I think I would be quite happy with this brush, but we'll test it out to see what the quality is like. Okay, now this is interesting. I've never had a Zigzag Sketchbook before. I know what they are, but I've never actually had one, so I'm going to open this up and take up the entire camera space with this. The accordion style fold out pages of this sketchbook are meant to give plenty of room to your creativity. Let your ideas flow into each other and create stunning visuals and panoramas. 300 GSM artist quality paper is made of 100% cotton. It's perfect for wet and wet techniques with brushes. Paint can be mixed together to create great watercolour effects, gradations of colour, and add colour to the original colour while the surface is still damp. This high quality artist paper is absolutely acid free, so that means it doesn't go yellow with age, and protect your works of art from fading. Your bright and radiant colours will not discolour over time. I just said that. Okay, it's rather attractive looking. If I just take this off, it does say 18 pages and it's portrait format. A watercolour paper surface with two textures, so one side might be slightly smoother than the other. How the devil am I going to get into this thing? There is a little discount coupon inside as well for if you sign up to the newsletter, so that's quite nice as well. It's a little bonus. This is like, do you remember the really old-fashioned maps we used to use before we had sat-nav? Am I showing my age there? That's what this feels. Oh, there we go, that's better. Ta-da! So basically, if we wanted to create a super duper long artwork, then you can do it. You can just keep going and going. I imagine someone like Kirby Rosanna's would love one of these. This side looks really textured, and I kind of want to see what the other side looks. Oh, the other side looks textured too. Okay, this side is much rougher than this side. This looks like cold pressed paper. I love the fact that it folds up into this tiny skinny little format, but you've got all this paper. I actually quite like this. I don't know if I would actually use it in the sense that, you know, like draw a big long skinny picture or a big tall thin picture. But I kind of like the concept. It might be a bit gimmicky for some, but that seems quite solid and quite robust as well. So I'm looking forward to testing that paper out too. Okay, we're talking about the co-captain now. The co-captain is the featured artist, and this is her artwork here. And she's done a lovely job of using all these this different media together. Bash Aquarellis, and if we turn over the back here, you can see some of her Instagram posts, and it gives you the chance to follow her on Instagram too. She's from Argentina, and she's a watercolour artist with a passion for nature. Well, that sounds good to me. So we've got an interview with her here, and some more of her artwork as well. She likes what is not perfect. I quite like that. So she's got some co-captain tips here as well. She's talking about painting in watercolour. This strictly isn't watercolour, so but she is talking about the watercolour crayons. So you can paint on the paper with the crayon and then activate it with water to blend the colours. You can put the crayon onto a ceramic palette and paint as if you were using watercolour, or you can paint directly with the brush from the crayon. Now that's a really nice, you know, this sort of thing. That's a really, really nice way to use it. It gives you really intense colour, but also gives you precision as well for detail. I really like using that method, and I do that a lot with the Neocolor crayons, which are basically the same idea. And there's a little bit here on her how-to video, how she made the featured artwork as well, so that's worth checking out. Just scan the QR code and off you pop. I love that the little Upcrate pirate logo's in the middle of the QR code. That just tickles me a wee bit. It says, recycle your Upcrate box. Whether this is your first crate or you've been sailing with us for a while, you've probably noticed how durable and beautiful our crates are. Yes, I use them for a lot of things. Made out of cardboard, you can easily reuse and recycle them in any way you like. Check out our craft ideas and see what you can come up with and create. Okay, so we're getting a little bit creative now, and we're being eco-friendly. Someone's actually made it into a pirate chest. I kind of like that. How to deal with art supplies. Okay, so this is the art hacks section. They did do this last month, and we're talking here about the fact that these are mediums that we know, but just in a slightly different format. So that's quite topical. I like that idea very much. And we've got a few techniques here to help you through if you've never seen this kind of thing before. And this specifically about the liquid pencil. And then there's a set. So this is very specific. She's talking about these mediums specifically, so it is very relevant to what we are trying to do here. And there seems to be quite a lot of information, but it is in sort of bite-sized chunks, and I think that's really helpful. And this is a 3-step demonstration of her using the mediums together. If we turn over the page, we are talking to Maddie, and she's a visual artist from Detroit. So this is almost a snapshot, I think. This is one of these sort of inspirational introductions to people, so we get to see our artwork. Oh, wow, look how bright and colourful they are. That's amazing. I love use of bright colours and things that are realistic. So obviously this is a face here, they're all faces. I really, really like this. So that's hopefully give you a little bit of an inspiring push. And we're also getting a little bit of a demonstration from the captain. Now that's nice because we've not seen much of that. So I'm glad to see that Captain Crate is not only busy putting these crates together, but he's actually going to teach us stuff too. This is fabulous if you're a first timer with the Lyra Aquacolors. This is really helpful. We have our Sailor of the Month. And our Sailor of the Month is Damned Snob. What an excellent Instagram handle. I always love people that have a very distinct art style, and this is one of those. And I'm always a little bit jealous because I tend to, like, I jump between art styles and I don't really have a very defined one of my own. So I'm always appreciative of people's artwork that you know you can pick it out like that. And Damn Snob here is one of those people. This is lovely. And here is the Upcrate battle for Sketched Dreams. Oh, I remember this. I remember this. This was the one with the door that I drew. Okay. Yeah, I kind of expected to see either lots of psychedelic stuff or lots of faces and portraits, and I am not disappointed. As this is amazing. This one's my favourite. I don't care what anyone says. Ella Winterhalter. This is by far my favourite because it's got that disjointed feeling of a dream because there's all these things together that kind of go together but don't really. If I had to pick a winner, it would be this one. I love this one too. Someone's obviously been very poorly. Virgo _ and they've literally drawn their hand with a psychedelic background. These two are my favourites. These are definitely my favourites. Okay, the Upcrate battle, Your Galaxy. That was the one I actually drew a bar of chocolate, which was Galaxy chocolate. And I just felt the prompt was quite disjointed, to be perfectly honest. It's like, okay. But there's some lovely entries here. I really like this one as well. They've incorporated the manga theme, which was in the magazine, very, very well with the supplies that were given. Very nice indeed. And the same with this one too. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, Sofia Snarska. And she's an illustrator from Poland. These are really nice. So I think it looks like she does a lot of watercolour. This is very different. I like stuff that's different. That's good as well. So again, more inspiration for you from this. And she's talking a little bit about the types of content that she draws. And she has drawn some of the stickers here. So these ones with the faces, these belong to Sophia. I've just noticed this sticker here. It says all my friends are dead. Oh my God. Ah, that's so sad but so funny at the same time. Okay, anyway, let's move on. My Artsy Life, so this is her art journey she's talking about and specific questions about different types of art. I like these as well. I love to sit with a cup of tea and read through these. And she's also got a wee tutorial on the go here as well, so if you want to have a go at her art style, she'll actually take you through it step by step. That is very cool indeed. Inspiration Radar. Again, this is just little snippets of some people's work, and you can grab their Instagram handle and go and check out the rest of the work. Okay, Upcrate Forecast. So they're still talking about their merch. They're bringing out t-shirts, and they're also talking about their new TikTok as well. So if you want to check that out, you can. We're talking about Refer a Friend, 15% off, Refer a Friend. And now the most interesting part is, well, for me anyway, is what the Upcrate battle prompt is, because we are just going to go ahead. We're going to test the supplies out really quick, and then we're going to jump straight into the prompt and see if we can create an artwork. This month's battle topic is Inspired by Nature. Okay, well that's pretty good. I think we can manage that. Inspired by Nature. So we've got these muted colours, which is really helpful for anything that's going to be natural. And I've also got the... okay, we can come up with something. That's a pretty open prompt. So let's test out the supplies, and it means we can get going and actually do some art. All right, I'm ready to test out these supplies. And because of the format of this sketchbook, it's kind of thrown me for a loop, because normally I would test them inside the back cover. But what I do want to do is test out both sides of the paper, because we're talking about the texture. So I'm going to have to do a test page here, but this is also going to have to be a test page. And this is the back, because this is where the elastic is actually fastened onto for the purposes of this experiment. You know, I'll take one for the team, guys, it's fine. As far as I'm aware, this is obviously a continuous sheet of paper, therefore this page that's actually stuck to the back cover is the same paper, and this is the This is the smoother side, so I think we'll just start here so I don't confuse myself too much. Okay, so first things first, we have these two brushes that we need to test out, and I'm going to try and test them with both mediums. I'm going to start with the Aquacolor crayons. So first of all, I just want to see what it's like on the texture of the paper. It's quite rough there, and that's just as simple as it gets, straight from the stick, so it feels just like a wax crayon. And I wonder if we can build up, yeah, okay, so we can build up some colour with these as well, which is what I was hoping. Okay, there's no colour names on the stick. So a swatch chart, or if you've got a swatch book, might be quite a good idea if you're going to invest in these, or if you've already got a lot of them. We seem to have quite a nice range of colours. Oh, look at that yellow. Oh, that's lovely. I like that a lot. I did notice that the wrapper on this one's really faded. It could have been sitting out in the sunshine. I can't see any difference in them other than the fact that it's just a lot paler. And that is just a piece of paper that's round there. These are really vibrant and they feel quite smooth going down as well. Okay, so just using the synthetic brush first. As I say, we've had one of these before. I've had a size 4, and from what I remember, they were pretty good. So I'm just wetting my brush and just sort of dabbing off the excess. And let's see what happens when we do this on the paper. I'm interested in how much this is actually diluting out. You know, can we get rid of all our marks on the paper? And the answer is yes. But look how vibrant that colour is. And this paintbrush, because it's synthetic bristles as well, it's holding its point really well. And it's interesting over time to see how they go. Oh, that's a lot lighter than I thought it would be. So yeah, really easy to dilute out your actual mark making with this, you know, when you've been laying it down. And it's diluting beautifully, like it wants to do it, and that is the main aim of the game with these things. I've tried some of these water-soluble mediums before, and they seem to dilute, but grudgingly when you do it on the paper, but these are just an absolute dream. And the thing I like about these is you can really water them down to get quite, you know, quite delicate tints. But these colours are nice, and I'm enjoying how pigmented they are as well. Okay, so easy to dilute out on the paper, so if you prefer to, you know, get your structure and everything down on your paper, you can do that first, but you can still achieve this sort of watercolour type effect once it's laid down, so that's absolutely fabulous. So the next thing I want to try is just to take some off the end of the actual crayon. So I'm going to try with this teal colour just because it's easy for you to see on the paper, and that lets us test how good the point on this brush is as well, because what I've found with these is, and you don't have to have a lot of water on your brush, like literally a damp brush, and I can see that's coming off no problem. I'm actually dribbling on the paper a bit further down, oh my, and literally just like stroke the end of your crayon. Look how thin that line is, but look how vibrant it is. These are very, very versatile, because if I press down a bit with my brush as well, I can get a slightly wider stroke. Because of the shape of the brush, I've got precision there, and I can go back over it and make it more vibrant if I feel it's too watered down. And the nib's flexible enough that we can, you know, if you're using more organic shapes, you're not going to have any problems there as well. And it's sitting really nice on the paper too. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is try the palette technique. And I'm going to scrub a little bit of this down. Oh, that feels horrible. Oh, that's just nasty. Oh, it doesn't feel good at all. I'm not sure about quantities for this. I don't do this very often, so I'm being quite generous here, I think. But I'm really curious to see what happens here. So I'm now going to use the mop brush, which is the big brush, and I'm just going to let that sort of sink in. Now that looks really washed out to me. It looks really, really pale. I'm interested to see how much of the liquid that this brush is soaking up, and it seems to be soaking up. It's a good Scottish word for soaking. It seems to be soaking up quite a lot of the water. I'm not sure how much help that's going to be. You know, if you're wanting to do a wash, but a stronger wash, because of the way that the crayon goes down. But I feel like I put a lot of that crayon down there. I don't think I've ever tried to put layers down on a palette before. But that, you know, okay, I pressed quite hard there too. I'll do the same thing again. I'll just stick a little bit of water in. I'll not use as much water this time. So my ratio of crayon to water in the actual palette is different. Okay, so that looks a bit more concentrated. And it feels a bit like watercolour paint, I'm not going to lie. What we've learned from this straight away is that you have to go some with your crayon. Now, just while we're here, let's grab the yellow. That's probably the next best colour. Now this is still wet, the orange that I've just put down here is still wet, and can I let these sort of mix in together, you know, get a bit of wet and wet technique going? And the answer is yes. So we'll let that dry and see what it does. It looks rather vibrant and interesting at this stage. But yeah, this mop brush, for a smaller mop brush, this seems to be fairly robust. A lot of the time mop brushes are made from natural hair just because they are naturally more absorbent. So I'm just letting that do its thing. It is on a slight slope just because of the way the book's unfolded, so everything's going to kind of run to one side, but that might give us quite an interesting effect. Just before I move on to the liquid graphite, I just want to test out whether or not we can reactivate these once we're dry, and what that'll tell us is whether we can layer up the colours over the top of each other, or whether it's going to lift the layer below and the colours are going to mix together. Now again, that's not an advantage or a disadvantage, it depends what you want to do with your work, but if it's something you're aware of, then you can work around it. So pretty wet brush, and I'm back to the number 6 round here, and I just want to see what happens if I start sort of annoying the pigment now that it's dry and it's not really moving. I dare say if you scrubbed away for long enough, it will start to lift. So that tells us two things. It means we can put other colours down on the top once this layer is dry. It also means as well we can't use a lifting technique like we would use with watercolour to correct our mistakes. So fairly robust, and say we can layer up. So I'll maybe try with some of the other colours. So we've got this yellow here. Let's see what happens. Let's put down a little bit of green on top of that. And I'll just do it lightly to begin with, because we can blend this out, and it's taking the second layer. This paper's great, it's taking the second layer no problem. So that adds another dimension to what you can actually do with these supplies. Just while this is still damp down here, I do want to try a lifting technique with the damp Aquacolor. Brush off that excess water, and if we stick it in, there you can see it is picking up some of the colour. I'll just give that a wee scrub. So hope you can see this patch down here. So we are still able to use the lifting technique, but just do it while it's damp. So if you've made a mistake or you want to create an effect, you need to do it at this point. You can see if I tilt it there, it is still wet. Okay, so you can see that the liquid graphite or liquid pencil in its pure form, they all look very similar. They all just look like graphite-y blobs, and that's kind of because that's what they are. With a fairly dry brush here, you can see there that looks like quite a dirty graphite line. So that's the grey, this one is the blue, and this one is the yellow, which I seem to remember is more like a sort of chartreusey colour. It's like a greenish yellow. So when you can see them in their pure form, they are very graphitey. That's not very technical. But now if I take a damp brush and I start to pull some of this out, you can see the grain of the graphite, which I think is a lovely effect. I really, really like it, just to add a bit of interest and a bit of texture without actually doing it, if that makes sense. You can see that blue tint starting to come out. So you can see it's very, very subtle, but you can build this up and the pigment will build on top of itself, and it gives you much more vibrant pigment. And you can see there it's going onto the paper no problem. So all of our supplies here are behaving brilliantly on this paper. This has started to dry now, and it is very much giving us a watercolour effect. There has been a little bit of mixing in this wet and wet area, and that seems to be working quite well. So we can use that to our advantage as well when we come to do our artwork. So I'm just going to let this dry, and I'm going to flip over. I'm not going to go through all these same movements again, but I just want to quick test out the supplies on the rougher side of the paper to let you see how they go down. So this side is a slightly different texture, so I'm just going to do the same things again, and to be honest, that doesn't feel that much different if I am truthful. And I'm going to grab my synthetic round, and let's just see how this behaves when we start to pull this colour out. And the answer is it's not that different. I'm having to work a little bit harder. Yeah, okay, there's a little bit of texture there. You can see the texture poking through when you get into this sort of wash situation. You can see it there. I would not say that it's a major factor, and it certainly I wouldn't feel as if I had to make a huge decision deciding what side of the paper I wanted to do my artwork on. And I'm going to pick some of the liquid pencil up straight off the palette. So this is the yellow one, and the blue, and finally the grey. So you can see like how subtle the differences are between those, but I love that, I really do. Right, okay, with all that said and done and out the way, I'm quite happy just to stroll on and let's start our Upcrate battle. I'm going to take up 2 panels. I was getting a bit carried away with myself. I thought, oh, we can make this really big. But I think for the purposes of the video, we will stick to these two panels here. I am surrounded by leaves at the moment. We have lots of really big old trees, and I mean like hundreds of years old, which at this time of year obviously results in a lot of leaves. So I'm going to do a nice little landscape here. We're going to make ourselves a very Scottish autumn scene. One of the things I forgot to mention when we were testing out the products was that the liquid graphite, it does reactivate with water even after it's dry. You can still build in more of the actual medium into what you're doing, but it will re-wet and it will move about. So that's something that you need to be aware of when you're using it. Okay, so first things first, I want to think about this background, and obviously I'm going to utilise this mop brush for this. A good old Scottish autumn sky, particularly when the weather's feeling a little bit unsettled and tempestuous. I'm a bit concerned about the joins in the page because I know that when I put water down, it's going to pull either, on either side of this. It's going to like create a channel. So you can see I'm being very artistic and very talented here. And I'm just going to get this mop brush and have it quite wet, and I'm just going to start to work out some of these lines. Now I've deliberately started with the Aquacolor because I know once it's dry it will stick to the paper better than the liquid graphite. I've got a bit of shedding with this brush. There are some fibres coming out of it, and on this bottom part I'm going to be entirely predictable, and I'm going to just get down some green. This idea that I had for this drawing, I think it would actually look really good as a line and wash piece, and it's something that I might actually revisit. It depends, I'll wait and see how satisfied I am with this one. At that time of year where the grass is starting to look a little bit less healthy. Now in terms of a background, that's all I need. Right, that's it, we're done. Kidding. Just where I've added in extra water, it's made some quite nice sort of pooling effects, and it's given this sky some texture, so that's an excellent start as well, and that's one of the joys of this kind of medium. Okay, so we need to have a little chat with this sky because this is far too cheery and bright for an autumn day. So I'm going to jump between the blue liquid graphite and the grey as well. And I'm going to work out some of these edges. And I want them to be quite soft, so I'm re-wetting my brush. And you can see I'm just working those out. So this part here is still wet, and I'm adding in some of the neat liquid pencil. So although I'm still moving about the layer underneath, I'm actually adding more pigment and more graphite to it. I am absolutely battering this paper with water. Like, I really am. And it's not that bothered about it, I have to say. So the thumbs up for the paper. I'm enjoying this. So for the grass area in the bottom, I'm kind of happy with my clouds now. The sky's looking a bit more unsettled. Just on this bottom part now, I'm literally going to take a layer of dilute grey liquid pencil with this mop brush, and it's just really to mute down this ground. So I want to make sure I'm keeping the concentration of graphite roughly the same across these two pages. I'll just keep adding water as and where I see fit. So we are going to take some time now to work on our tree, which is going to be on this side, and we're going to maybe have it at a slightly jaunty angle. So I just want to get that first sort of shape, and now I can just start to build up my branches. Build up some texture as I go here. Now just with what I've got in my brush, just dip that into the water there, and I just want to create a wee bit of a kind of shadow going on here. Okay, so now that I've got the shape of my tree in, I can kind of work around that here and just start to bring my clouds down. And I know that seems a little bit backwards, but to be honest, I just wanted to go with the tree and see where it was going to take me. I've just noticed something here. I need to thicken this part up. You know, I had no plan as to the structure and the shape of the tree, and that's something that I do quite a lot, and it's just because I find it very relaxing just to let the brush in my hand decide where I'm going rather than making a conscious decision. That's better. I feel as if I really want to keep this light piece really light in the middle, and it's kind of making me want to build up this grey a lot more around the edges. I think I'm just going to go for it, to be honest. I just want a little bit of interest in the background. Yeah, that's better. Okay. This is the bit that's going to take the longest, and I will not make you endure the entire thing. But what I am going to do is I'm going to start using these crayons. I need to think about the direction of it. Do you know what? I'm going to have to turn this upside down. Because in my picture, the wind is blowing this way, And because I'm left-handed, it's easier for me to put leaf shapes down on the paper, obviously in this direction. So if I turn it upside down, then most of my leaves will be going in the right direction. Now, at the stage of autumn that we're at here in the UK, our trees do still have leaves on them. Only a few of them have turned, and I've only got one or two in, especially in my garden, that are absolutely bare. So I'm going to have a few green leaves still attached to our poor little battered tree here. This is one of these ones you don't want to think too hard about it, because if you do, you end up with a pattern. Quite liking this. I do think I need to add in some more down here. Maybe have a little pile building up here. I am really happy with that. I could sit here all day and just keep adding leaves and adding leaves. The last thing I want to do is take a tiny little bit of the diluted liquid pencil in the grey and just put a wee shadow under my leaf pile here. Kind of chancing my arm here because it's not quite dry, that leaf pile, but I'll risk it. It's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to call it quits there. I could spend all day adding more leaves to this, but I think we'll just stop there while we've got some impact. I hope you've enjoyed this today. If you are a regular watcher of the unboxing videos, I would love to hear your thoughts on this slightly different format, whether you like it better or you prefer the other style of video that I've done. I'm just trying this out to see what people's preferences are. I hope you've learned something about the supplies today as well. This has been an excellent box. This is one of my favourite, I think, from Upcrate this year. And I fully intend to use these supplies again. As I say, I quite fancy doing an ink and wash style drawing, maybe a similar sort of feel to it. So maybe we'll give that a go in another video. Thank you very much for watching, everyone. If you've got this far, it'd be great if you could give this video a thumbs up, because that helps me out. Please stay safe and take care of each other. And I'll see you back in the cave on Sunday for another video. So have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye for now.